Hi, I'm Chef Wesley Wright, and today Ingles Table is taking it to the street. I'm the owner, operator, and head chef of Taste and See Food Truck and Catering Company here in Asheville, North Carolina. Food trucks are way more than hot dogs and hoagies. These days, street food is some of the most cutting-edge cuisine you'll find anywhere. At Taste and See, we specialize in using local organic ingredients to make some amazing dishes. Today, thanks to Ingles, I'm going to cook with you. I'm going to show you how to bring some amazing food to your kitchen table. Let's get started. Today we're starting out at Ingles getting the ingredients to make my hickory nut gap ribeye. For a full list from the ingredients today, see the shopping list below the video player. You can print that with you and take it to the store, or you can pull it up on your phone while you're there. Now, let's get cooking. All right, we just got back from Ingles. I'm gonna cook one of my personal favorites, hickory nut gap ribeyes. Can't wait to show this to you guys. Let's get on the truck. All right, I'm gonna show you guys an incredible way to make amazing steak. At Ingles, you can find hickory nut gap steak, which is hormone-free, antibiotic-free, and pasture-raised. I'm gonna take these two ribeyes, I'm gonna season them liberally on all sides with salt, pepper, and then we're gonna tie them up. Now these hickory nut gap steaks have less fat, but the amazing thing about them is the flavor from being grass-fed. All right, and now for the fresh cracked black pepper. All right, now we're gonna roll these steaks up because a lot of ribeyes, they're gonna have that nice thin strip of meat on one side, but then that one big glob of meat in the center. So when you tie them up like this, what happens is you're gonna get a nice even cook all the way through. All right, now we're using butcher's twine here, which can stand up to the heat in the oven, and it's gonna keep it in a nice cylindrical piece. All right, so what we're gonna do is take a meat thermometer like this that can give you an alarm when it reaches a certain temperature. We're gonna insert the probe into one of the steaks. When this reaches 130 degrees, we're gonna pull it from the oven. So we're just gonna take a little bit of oil, put our steaks on our pan. We're gonna leave this on the counter. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put these into the oven at 200 degrees. All right, so while the steak's cooking, we're gonna go ahead and show you how to do the mashed potatoes. Now for mashed potatoes, you want to have as much fat in those mashed potatoes as possible for the maximum amount of flavor. So when you cook those, cook them on a medium heat and for a long amount of time. If you've got more time, go ahead and cook those on a low heat and leave them on for maybe even a couple of hours. And then that way, you're gonna be able to add a lot more fat to your potatoes to make them excellent. So we've got some extra virgin olive oil. Got some butter. Roasted garlic puree. And just a little bit of truffle oil. Potatoes take a tremendous amount of salt. And pepper. I'm just gonna mix these really quickly. Because the potatoes been cooking for a while, they're not gonna take much at all to mash up. And it's gonna leave you with some creamy, excellent mashed potatoes. You don't wanna mix for too long or the potatoes will become waxy. And I'm doing it this way just to make it easier for the home cook, but if you have a food mill, that is absolutely the best way to cook puree mashed potatoes. All right, so now that we've got our steaks out of the oven, it's time to sear them. They're at a nice, cool 130 degrees. So we're gonna put these in the pan, sear them to get a nice crust on the outside. Now when you get a crust on something, what's going on there is the Maillard effect, which is also called caramelization. The natural sugars in the meat are gonna begin to caramelize and come out, and it's going to form a nice thick crust on the outside of the steak. You want to do this on a high heat. You'll need to have your fan going in your home kitchen because it's going to be pretty violent. You might even get a little bit of a flame. If you do, just remove it from the heat for a second. And really we're just gonna sear these for about a good 30 seconds on both sides. Don't be afraid to check it. And what I'm doing right now is just pushing the center of the steak in to make sure that it sears it all the way across on the steaks. The traditional way is to sear it in a pan and to put it in the oven. And the thought for a long time was that what you're doing is searing in the meat. Searing in the juices. Doing it this way, the juices literally do stay in the steak. You're going to only lose maybe about a tablespoon versus a whole lot more in cooking it the other way. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and drain just a little bit of the oil. Now we're going to add our butter and we're going to butter baste these. Tilt your pan. You really can go ahead and cut your heat off for this. This is really going to finish off those flavors. All right, now we're going to go ahead and plate these up. All right, so now to plate, we're just going to put some of the mashed potatoes right in the center of the plate. I also call this a mashed potato puree because I like it nice and creamy. Got some roasted green beans here. We're going to take our steak, put it right on top. I like how it spreads and creates a nice presentation. Then we're going to cut our butcher's twine off. Garnished with a little paprika olive oil. And just a touch of truffle oil. All right, we're out of time for today, but I just want to thank you for joining us here on the Ingles Table. Remember, you can find this recipe, videos, photos, and more on the website at inglestable.com. Until next time, I'll see you online.